Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very good. And you?
I'm
Great to
doing
see
great. This is
you.
my first time using this, so I
Okay.
am about to go live on
I'm gonna put this to
on
this.
Instagram right quick. Okay, hang on. Let's
Okay, let
see.
me see.
How's everything going?
Very good. And you?
Good, good. All right, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Is the audio okay? Can you hear? Everything's okay, right?
I think so.
Question.
Can Can
Okay,
I do
cool.
you see any background on my end or not really?
Just the door. That's it.
Oh, that's strange because I put a background.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I guess it's not working.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Let me know whenever you're
Okay,
ready.
I'm ready. I'm
All
ready. We
right.
are already live.
Live, local, and like
Yeah. Where do
everyone to
in
my
which
clinical research.
platforms you have it?
Huh?
In which platforms you have it live?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All at the same
Yay! I
Absolutely.
love that.
Yes. So everyone virtual career fair. Today, my special guest is Monica. We met virtually to help prep conference, right? And then we
Yes.
actually met in Tucson, Arizona, which I had a blast, learned a lot. Um, and she helped facilitate like our panel. I mean, did a really good job. So she is also the co-founder of Latinos in Clinical Research and the owner of Clarity Clinical Research. Is that correct? I want to make sure
Yes. And one
that's
of the
right.
co-founders also of the SOS conference,
Okay, cool.
and the University of Clinical Research.
Just many. I mean, you guys have a lot of good things going on. You have inspired me, among many others, to do
Oh,
what I'm
thank
doing
you.
right now.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. So would you like to share your journey? So what enticed you to become a site owner? Did you start off as a phlebotomist, or what was your initial job and what led you to
Oh, I
where you are
love
today?
that. I love sharing this information to inspire people. Okay, so I was I had in my mind that I wanted to work in pharmaceutical, but I didn't know exactly in which area, right? I just wanted to
Uh-huh.
work in pharmaceuticals.
Uh-huh.
And I was living back then in Australia, and I wanted to move back to United States, most specifically California. But I didn't know many people here. I only had one friend. um, I reached out to him and I told him that I wanted to move back. That if he had anybody that he could connect me with, he only had one person to connect me with, and then that
Mm-hmm.
person knew another person that was working in the mental health industry. Um, and he happened to be Danes and Chris Sauber, business partner in a clinical research site. So I was
Mm-hmm.
a very, I mean, I cannot get luckier than that. I couldn't get luckier than that because
Right.
I only knew this person that knew one person, and this one person was connected with Dan and Chris, and I mean, so back then they were looking for somebody that that was able to translate from Spanish to English
Mm-hmm.
for some patients and start doing recruitment, patient recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, why not, right? I wanted to enter in the industry, and I say I will take any opportunity I can to join this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got an interview with Dan and Chris, and then with Dan and Chris and the PI, and I was hired. I started working in a study for schizophrenia. And actually, no, it was for tardive dyskinesia, which is involuntary movements due to certain
Mm-hmm.
drug medications. So I started as a recruiter. I was recruiting patients, and I was translating when I was, I mean, back then that was something that you could do. So I started translating, and also I started doing recruitment. Then I learned the protocol, learned the inclusion and exclusion criteria, and that's how I started knowing
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more and more here and more there. But I was very interested. I am very curious. So I started looking at what everybody was doing, the coordinators, the PI, and then doing videos with Dan here and there, and learning more about how to reach out to the communities, which marketing strategies you could use. So we started back then um, creating strategies for each study. So the
Mm-hmm.
patient recruitment plan, which included um, the media and the patient engagement. So with each
Mm.
study, I started designing the marketing strategies, then getting it approved by the sponsors, and and that's how I started. Okay,
Wow.
um, it was on my benefit, my second language, and that I am obviously, I mean, actually my first language, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
obviously an immigrant. So um, that's how my journey really began. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that, I got the chance to become a coordinator with
Mm-hmm.
them in the same clinic. So they gave me the opportunity to become a coordinator, and I learned a lot. I mean,
Yes.
the coordinator position is so amazing because it gives you such a strong layout for your career in
Mm-hmm.
general. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter where you want to take your career to, whether you
Mm-hmm.
want to go in the direction of becoming a monitor, or if you want to be um, let's say in marketing, like in my case for the studies,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go in data management, I mean, you name it. The coordinator
Yes.
play position is so vital and is so important, and I give you so much that people don't sometimes don't understand the possibilities that coordinator give you.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned the whole process from applying for patients, applying for studies, recruitment, patient recruitment, all the part of coordinating the studies. Um, and I mean, you wear all the hats possibles, right? And that's
Yes.
how you learn. Then, obviously, like I say, I was blessed to be with Chris and Dan. They basically taught me
Mm-hmm.
everything I know now,
Mm-hmm.
and um, and also Rosario. I have to mention Rosario and Carlos. They were part of this. They know who they are, and
Yes.
and um, and and then some monitors also helped me in the process, because they knew I was a new coordinator, and they were also, Monica, do this, do that, or you have to take care of this and that. So it's really a community. Take a village for
Yes, it
somebody to
does.
be right, for somebody
Yes.
to start succeeding. And and in this process, I have been always an entrepreneur since I can remember, and the opportunity to open a clinic came,
Mm-hmm.
so I decided to do this journey. Um, but before it actually even happened, um, another thing that helped me to understand the process was also creating the CRC Academy. So the CRC Academy
Mm-hmm.
was born in 2019, but by then, Dan and Chris already had the CRA Academy, which I went through. Um, that also was part of the training that I received that they provided to me. And
Mm-hmm.
when we created the CRC Academy, that made me even more aware of the little details, because when you're teaching, you learn more. The students challenge you too, and and that was, I mean, an experience that helped so much growth.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention obviously the clinic and everything else around it. and then the pandemic came. So, I mean, I can keep talking and talking and talking about all the processes that went through and all the
Uh-huh.
creativity and all the opportunities, because quite honestly, this industry has so much to offer
Mm-hmm. Agree with that.
when it comes to careers, because the
Mm-hmm.
sky is the limit, right? If you want to
You,
work with organizations, there are
uh-huh.
endless opportunities, and then if you want to create your own companies, the same endless opportunities.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that blew my mind whenever I entered into this clinical research space. I thought, oh my gosh, you can go this direction, that direction. You just have to start somewhere in the research space. And once you gain that experience, then as you said, the sky is the limit. So I want to ask you, how long did it take for you to get your site up and running? And did you utilize any SMOs, or how did that go for you? And how long did it take for you to get a study?
Oh, that's a great question. So, um, to make the decision to open the clinic, it took me that long. After I became a coordinator, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
have it clear since the beginning. Since I became a coordinator, I was just like, I mean, I just love this business. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and what it takes longer, I think, is finding a PI or finding a business partner for this, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know there are many people out there that maybe started and then they get a lot of no's from PIs,
Mm-hmm.
or don't get discouraged, because you're gonna find it in some
Yes.
point, right? The
Mm-hmm.
thing is that with the PIs, a lot of doctors have a wrong idea of what it is to have a clinic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
or what is really research, because the research doctors learn in school, in university, is academic, so it's different, and they don't really have the exact idea how clinical research
Mm-hmm.
in the industry part of the business really runs, until you start explaining them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what took the longest. I opened the clinic, or we started in 2020. Okay. And it took me around, I will say, between 3 to 6 months to get the first study.
3 to 6 months. I guess to me that doesn't sound bad. I mean, for me, my own research site, um, 3 to 6 months is not too shabby. What do you think is the norm? Could it be longer
Okay,
than that to
it can be
manuscript?
longer than that if you do it on your by your own. Okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
I say, I was extremely blessed since the beginning that I knew Chris and Dan. They have a business that is called oh, hi Kelvin. They had a business that helps sites to get studies and
Mm-hmm.
and basically hold your hand until the site is successful, right? So um, I was since the beginning. I used their services, so it was
Mm-hmm.
much easier for me to get these study leads that I needed, um,
Mm-hmm.
to get this first study, to land this first study. Obviously, there are many tools out there that you can use to find out which are the new studies and all of that. But unless you're doing it full time, it can take a little longer, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a service that provides you with um,
Mm-hmm.
this assistance. Hmm.
Well, the amount of legwork, me looking into opening up my website, but a research site, just the legwork alone, I know it would require, I'm sorry, it would require so much work. And one person alone, I just cannot see it being feasible. having a team of people that actually knows what they're doing, that can help bring in the infrastructure that you need to start your site would be very, I say fruitful and very beneficial. And
Yeah.
I almost think that would be less stressful. I mean, I know it'd be stressful, but it would remove a lot of the stress it would take to even start a site.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
especially because obviously getting the leads, I mean, you can get the leads
mhm,
anywhere, really. I mean, you can go even in clinicaltrials.gov and keep on checking out every day which studies are new, which studies, and maybe finding a way to communicate with that specific sponsor. But let
mhm,
that alone, when you get the study, uh, that's when all the job really starts, right? You have to start with the
yeah,
budget negotiation, which if you don't really know how to do it, it can be detrimental for your site. Because if you're not
mhm,
getting that first part, which is the financial part, I mean, plainly, like being talking completely transparent, obviously, a clinical research site is also a business, right? Besides all
mhm,
the beauty or the that is research, we need to make sure that the finance are in place. And if you don't know how to negotiate properly that study, you can be cut short, and then the business, it will not go
mhm,
anywhere.
mhm,
So that part is very important, and also the contracts. You need to know how to the wordings and all of that. So that's very important to have in mind. It's not just obviously being a business entrepreneur. It requires that mind and also assistance.
mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, how can you describe a day in the life as a site owner from the time you get started? I mean, it can be very brief because I know I was a research, an in-house CRA now, and I was assigned 50 sites. 50 sites for my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so overwhelmed. I questioned my decision to be in the
Oh
research
my
space, but I hung in
gosh.
there and I stayed.
You're brave.
But oh man, I said, oh no, what was I even thinking? But I'm glad that I stayed. But now that I'm on this side of the fence, I have more of a better understanding. So describe a day in the life for you and your site. It can be
So
very
at the
brief.
for me in the site, okay. Um, I will say that obviously the first thing is checking emails, making sure that you are
Mhm,
having that communication with the sponsors, and taking care of every single thing that has to be taken care of. So that goes from making sure that the queries are answered, that
mhm,
the coordinators are on top of those things. Um, and it's important for the site owner to know how the whole process. Hello?
yeah, I think I lost you for like a
Sorry.
few
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah, yeah, I know.
It's okay.
So, um, as I was mentioning, um, it's important for the site owner or the site director to know how every single part of the process runs, because otherwise you will be flying blind,
Mhm.
right? Kimberly, to answer that, I recommend to start as a coordinator, clinical research coordinator. If you have interest, reach out to me. All
Yes.
right. So, um, so it's important because that way you can run the business better, right? So that's
Mhm,
why, for example, for me, knowing that all the queries have to be answered, that all the regulatory has to be in place for everything, making sure we have appointments, patient appointments, that everything is ready for those patients, and that
mhm,
includes the laboratories, I mean, if that's part of the visit, right? That the laboratories, that all the staff is available for that visit, that everything
mhm,
has been taken care of, right?
mhm,
Um, and then obviously ensuring that that everything is done according to the protocol,
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that you're having, if there is any issue, which person you're gonna reach to get this working, whether it is the monitor, or let's say the medical monitor. Sometimes you call them directly,
Mm-hmm.
or if there is any technical issues, what are you gonna do, right? So you have to have in mind all of that during the day if anything is needed. um, and then helping develop the business more, right? So if you're looking to increase your pipeline, what are you gonna do to increase the pipeline or the studies? Or if you have a study that you need to push a little bit more, the recruitment, what is the plan? What you're gonna do? Are you gonna go back and rerun again the database and reach out to all the patients one more time, or maybe check it out if there is a possibility to do an advertisement to increase that pool, or what is next. So
Mm-hmm.
the job, the day to day on a site is extremely active. There is never a dull day. Um, there is never a quiet moment. It's always busy. It's always, we're always thinking ahead, or we always, at least on my side, right? But the majority of the sites I think are the same. It's always ongoing, and research in general is like that. I bet for you is the same,
Oh,
Alicia, right?
it could be busy, hectic, just all, answering your emails. I mean, you can, whenever I was a remote site monitor in-house CRA, the amount of emails that I received on a daily basis was astronomically high. I thought I'm never going to get a hold of this, but it can be pretty busy. And you just have to learn how to prioritize what's important for that particular study or for that particular day, and move forward, do the best that you can.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, it's basically one bite at a time, right?
mhm.
And yeah, but it sometimes a lot of things comes to the table that basically everything is a priority. So in those moments is when you
I know.
say, okay, one bite at a time, we make it happen.
Yes, absolutely. So, can you tell me some of the benefits of being a site owner? Do you find that maybe some people have like a fantasy about being a site owner? Do they think they can just make the money like quickly? What do you feel about that? What are the benefits from being a site owner? Is it a lucrative? I've seen where some people do very well in it, and then there are some sites that don't. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so my opinion on that is that having a clinical research site is no different to have any other business. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when you own a business, you have to work hard. You have to put it all, and it's a matter of patience too, because it's not that you're opening a business today and tomorrow you're gonna see the profit. That's never the case.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you have invested a lot or not, whether it's money or sweat investment, you have to work, and it's not different than any other business. And the same thing
Mm-hmm.
goes for the profit. It can be as profitable as you want, or it can be as um, bad business as you want. It really depends
Yeah.
of your effort, right? Research
Yes.
is no different, or having a clinical site. Now, it does
Mm-hmm.
imply a lot of more details, a lot of more dedication, because it's not just like going and it's not cookie cutting, right? It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have a lot of details that research requires that are probably part of other businesses. So all the patient priority, patient safety is always number one priority in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and making sure that we're doing everything according to all the guidelines and all the regulations that are part of this industry. So it is
Mm-hmm.
it is um, in a way it is a little bit different in how can you start it than
Mm-hmm.
maybe other businesses, just
Mm-hmm.
because let's say for example if you partner with a principal investigator that happen to have their business, their private practice, and they happen to
Mm-hmm.
have a space, a little space for you to start research. You can start
Mm-hmm.
it in a little space, right?
Yes.
um, and that will be the ideal way, I think, to start with a business with a PI that
Mhm.
has their own private practice. But then there are many
Yes.
other ways, right? That's the thing that I consider that is a little bit different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other part is that you get the startup um, fees paid by the sponsors once you start the business. So you at least have a little bit of cushion on top of the one that you should be having, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so so that's I mean it's a beautiful business. Is but it requires dedication and determination just like any other business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are some challenges that you may face in this business for you?
Challenges that I see that
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot. Um, so sometimes I mean I think the I mean there are different kind of challenges, but let's say for example the budgets sometimes because the sponsor don't always know exactly how the site works. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes that part can be challenging. The
Mm-hmm.
other part, the other part that can be challenging is also the payment of the payment of the sponsors. Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
take a lot longer than they supposed to, and if you are a small clinic starting, that's hurting for the financial of the business and maybe even the possibility of closing, right? Even if you're
Mm-hmm.
performing really well, if the sponsor is not paying on time, then that could affect the whole process. That's one challenge that could happen. Another one could be um, getting studies faster because
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes difficult to get those um, that communication because I mean, if you start a business, you don't always when you start in clinical research or as a site, um, maybe it's hard to just get um, to know what's the person that you need to reach out to speak about the opportunity to get a
Mm-hmm.
study, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
or let's say for example, hi Susan, or let's say for example, if you have let's say you have the study, okay, uh,
Uh-huh.
I mean you have the lead and then you reach out to them, um, but then your site has very little experience, uh, you're gonna hear a lot of no's. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they will want you to have already experience, and how are you gonna get the experience if no one is giving you opportunities, right? So that's when you need a lot of assistance. Nowadays, a lot of sponsors are open to that, but then you need to know that
Mm-hmm.
right person. So that I think that part of the communication it needs to improve a little bit. The way if the
Mm-hmm.
sponsors make themselves a little bit more available for the sites or for the new sites coming to the market, how can they reach out to them? Oftentimes you
Mm-hmm.
hear, but whoa, we have our own database of sites, we reach out to them. Yeah, but what about if that site is not in that database? What if
Uh-huh.
that site is not even, even if they are registering in the platforms that they have online, if they don't have any study in the past with them or any experience with that specific sponsor, how do they know about these sites? right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think those will be the most challenges. And another one, my those will be my number three challenges. Okay, the third one will be the study team. I mean the site team. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because you can train somebody very well, and then a sponsor comes and offer them a job opportunity. So then you lose your your coordinator, or there are so much opportunities out there that
Uh-huh.
I mean, this industry, like I say, for coordinators is for everybody, but for
Yes.
coordinators is like a candy shop, because so much
Uh-huh.
opportunities out there, so
Mm-hmm.
much opportunities, so many that that can also lead for sites to lose their workforce faster. Hmm.
So do you feel
So we
like the
have
turnover
to.
rate, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, please continue.
Do you feel like the turnover employee turnover rate is high at your site because of all the opportunities that are, or not just at your site, but in general, because of the opportunities that can be presented to the employee? Because I know with study coordinators or maybe CTMs and project managers, it just depends. So what the turnover rate, is it high, low, or just depends
Okay, so I've been
on the
lucky.
site?
I have not had that, uh, but it's also important for the sites to create um, an environment, and obviously to provide um,
Hmm.
good remuneration for the coordinators, right? But oftentimes, even if you have that, there are so many opportunities out there. So I know and I see it a lot in many
Hmm.
sites, because the opportunities are endless, and then not just that, but um, what they can offer to them is sometimes unreachable for sites.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, let's see here. I remember you talking about there was something unique about your site that you provide. Is it something, refresh my memory, is it something about ducks or what was that?
Oh, okay. So we make so in my site, I mean, we try to work many perks, right, for our staff, and also for the patients. We
Hmm.
dedicate to mental health, so we know of many different things that can help the patients to feel comfortable. And one of those
Hmm.
is that some of the patients have pets as a support, and we allow them to come with their companions. We are open to
It'll be
that.
kind of cute.
Uh, yeah. And then in addition to that, we also my team is very diverse, so we
Mhm.
speak around 5 languages just in the
Oh
team
wow.
here. So that give us a broad opportunity to bring diversity, and that's something that, as you know, we advocate a lot. I am also one of the co-founders of Latinos in Clinical Research,
Hmm.
and we advocate for diversity. So that's something that we work on daily basis.
Hmm. Patient recruitment and retention. So, are you the patients that participate in the trials that you have at your site? How are you able to? Are they able to stay? Are they able to be retained there, or how long do they? How many dropouts do you have? What would be the percentage if I'm asking that question
Well, this is
correctly?
gonna sound funny, but honestly, we have a very good retention.
Mhm.
And this is because of those little details. Okay, like
I
for
believe that.
example, giving the opportunity to a patient that have a dog, for example, that they feel more comfortable, that they feel that the dog
Mhm.
is that they need to be with their dog all the time, or for emotional support or for mental health support. Those
Mhm.
little details make such a big uh, change, right? Or addition to them. So the patient doesn't have to have that burden or that stress, or what I want to do, where I'm going to leave my pet.
Uh-huh.
Um, right? And then also, for example, providing, this is more common in the majority of sites, that the majority of sites provide transportation if they need it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's important, right? Those little details, providing transportation or making the site available for the patient's timing, right? A lot of the patients work and don't have availability, but after work. So we work around those schedules too. Um, we have touch points during the week that we call our patients to see how they are doing, how they are feeling with the medications. Even if it's included or not in the protocol, we still do it, just because we want to ensure the patients are feeling comfortable and they don't feel that they are just a number, right? Your part, you come here, we pay attention to you only when you come for the visits. So we have those details. I mean, something that we have been doing also is the patient appreciation day, for example,
Oh,
that we
wow.
invite all our patients and we bring different things, so that's something that helps because it keeps them connected, and they keep, they
Yeah,
feel that they were participating in clinical trials, yes, but they're not just a number. um
that's
yeah.
almost like a family unit. You're providing a family unit, if you will, that a safe space for them to continue to keep coming. That is, to me, that's a huge incentive. Huge incentive.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that, that family incentive and all of that, we want them to feel like that. We treat them as if they were part of the family, obviously keeping
Hmm.
the professional boundaries, right? But
Absolutely.
that's so important, because when you come and then just come, go to the visit, do the stuff, and then see you later, right? We just spend time with them
Hmm.
too. We listen to
Hmm.
the patients. We provide, let's say, for example, on their birthdays, we send them a little something, or on the Thanksgiving, on New Year's, on Christmas, um, and we know details from patients, so that helps you to keep that connection. So
Hmm.
let's say, for example, if you know of a patient that is a different religion, that they celebrate something different, why not reach out, happy Hanukkah, or whatever it is,
Hmm.
that makes them feel important, and it might seem as not as important, but it is so important, because those little details make the whole thing more comfortable, and and that's what it takes,
Hmm.
a
Then
human
they're not going
connection.
to feel like a number, just a number, or just somebody that, and I wouldn't say a lab rat, but some a patient that's just a body. They don't feel
Hmm.
like just a body going into a building and no one is listening to anything that they have to say. So you're making them feel comfortable. And for me
Yeah,
personally, I would continue to go back to your clinical research site because of those things.
yeah, that human connection, right? That's
The
what it
human
is.
connection, absolutely.
So we had a patient that it used to drive 2 hours and a half just to come for the visit,
Oh,
and
wow.
he never dropped from the study. He completed the whole thing. So,
Wow.
and it was that he was able to go to the clinic closer to him, but he didn't. So,
Wow.
hmm
You made man, that made a huge
hmm
impact on his life. Wow, that says a lot about how you conduct your business, how your team, and how they treat the patients. Um, let's see here. Do you have it looks like it's 6:12, almost 15 minutes. So we're going to be ending in a few seconds. Do you have any like last words, tips for any future individuals that want to start a site? I know you mentioned some before, not to get encouraged or discouraged anyway. Um, is there anything else that you want to else you'd like to add to that?
I will say that learning the whole process, learning the whole business, like I say, flying blind
Mhm,
is not a good idea, even if you have experience in research.
mhm,
But it's different that at the site level, I recommend you to learn how things work at the site level. And the best way to do it is like the whole process of a coordinator. Coordinators have a lot of a good idea of how the site runs, really, right?
mhm,
Um, so that's a way um, to learn how to do this business. Obviously, having that perspective about the business
mhm.
and going with that in mind that this is no, I mean, it's not different than any other businesses out there, and get that assistance, because
I
if you want to get it, you want to get the business run
mhm.
faster than you actually initially thought. Breaking in the industry needs or requires some assistance for sites. Yeah, and finding a good PI, whether it is a business partner or a PI that is joining your team, is very important.
I know, I think some people have um, an like a fantasy, I call it, about starting their own business in general. For me personally, I would still have to keep my day job until the site is doing well. So I think that would be a key factor if you need that kind of financial support, that you still need to keep your day job, hopefully until your site is up and running. Um, I think that that's it. You guys, if you have any questions, I really thank Monica for being on
Yeah,
and being my guest speaker. It was really fun.
thank you
Hopefully
so
we can
much,
do a part two.
Alicia.
You're
Yes,
welcome. And
anytime, please, for you, anytime.
anytime. Okay.
Yeah, please reach out. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me through my LinkedIn. I'm in LinkedIn. I'm
Yeah.
friendly.
Very friendly. Very friendly. There it like I'm not able to read this.
Okay. Uh, okay. So she's commenting on a condition she has. Uh,
Okay.
okay. Oh, okay. So this is different. I will read it later. It's in Spanish.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not
She will.
related. It's not much related to research.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, again, you guys, thank you for coming, ask questions, inbox us both. And if you want to be a special guest on my live videos, hit me up and we can schedule something and get started. Like, share,
Yeah.
and comment, subscribe. You guys have a
Thank you so
good
much,
evening.
Alicia.
Again,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much
Monica.
for what you do.
You're
You're very passionate, and I love
welcome.
that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.